If you're like me, you probably thought that Moses was the brother of Pharaoh.
Your new baby brother.
With my father, mother, brother.
Goodbye, brother.
Our brother, Moses.
In my heart, you are my brother.
Goodbye, brother.
And I can't imagine why. Hi, I'm Ed. Welcome to King's Cultural, where we explore culture from a biblical perspective. This video is about all the differences between the Prince of Egypt movie and the Bible. I hope you enjoy. The Prince of Egypt is one of the best movies ever made. The animation, the music, the glaring inaccuracies. Wait, what? Inaccuracies? In a movie about the Bible?
Did I ever tell you that I used to read feet? You used to what?
Yes. For starters, none of them spoke English in the Bible. Can you believe that? For real though, I grew up thinking that Moses and Ramesses were brothers because that's how the movie portrays them. How it goes in the Bible, or as I like to call it, reality. Pharaoh's daughter went down to the riverbank and withdrew a little profit. Pharaoh's daughter would by no means be the next in line to rule Egypt. That right would of course go to a son. This would make Moses the grandson of the current Pharaoh. If Ramesses succeeded the current Pharaoh, then he would have been Moses' adopted uncle. Or if he was in the next generation, his cousin. They probably could have explained that in the movie, but the family dynamic made the narrative tighter and the drama that much more delicious. Before moving on to the next thought, I'd like to say that the whole golden calf incident would have been much more whimsical if Aaron sounded like Jeff Goldblum like he did in the movie.
You have made a false idol of gold.
No, this is the first I've heard of it. I'm crestfallen. Save. What's happening? I didn't know any of this.
Now that we've had a little laugh, please make sure you like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on if you like learning about culture from a biblical perspective. I'll bet you didn't know this one. Moses didn't grow up quite so carefree as the beginning of the movie portrays either. Him and Ramesses, his uncle/cousin, weren't knocking the sphincter's nose off. Traditions in Second Temple Judaism point to Moses being learned in Egyptian wisdom and mighty in word and deed. Some literature describes him as being an accomplished military general. Another inaccuracy that's probably done for thematic effects is that Moses didn't accidentally kill the Egyptian like the movie shows. To me, it looks like he accidentally knocked the Egyptian off in the presence of a crowd. But in the Bible, Moses straight up looked both ways, saw no one was there, and avenged a man who was being abused? Acts 7 says that he saw one of the children of Israel being wronged, and he defended the oppressed man and avenged him by striking down the Egyptian. The original readers of the story didn't seem to think that Moses was a murderer. In fact, the correct way to read this seems to be that God was granting them salvation through him. So while he wasn't a murderer, he did carefully and intentionally avenge his Hebrew brother. This kind of does a number on that picture your older aunties might share from time to time, calling Moses a murderer, because the Bible never describes it as that. God never holds it against him. Another interesting thing that we see is that Moses' wife Zipporah comes back to Egypt with Moses. But where are their kids? Did they just drop them off at old Grandpa Jethro's house for the weekend while Moses dropped some fire plagues on Egypt? The Bible says that Moses put his wife and sons on a donkey and led them back to Egypt with him. And don't even get me started on the bridegroom of blood incident. Yuck. Point is, you can't have that story without the kids going back to Egypt with Moses. This movie is an incredible watch with beautiful animation, soundtrack, and voice talent all around. It's engaging for adults and kids. Sure, there are a few places where it strays away from the Bible to create a tighter narrative, but as someone who loves the Bible and film, I understand why they made the changes they did. In historical films, because this is history, sometimes you have to embellish things to get the point across. Sometimes things get left out or condensed to make sure that the kids can follow it. Because the Passover story is one that's meant to be passed down to our children. That's why we watch this movie pretty much every spring. Anyway, I'm gonna rate this movie, 10 out of 10, baby! Woo! Flawless film with no problems whatsoever. My wife is holding me hostage until I give this movie a perfect score. What do you think of Prince of Egypt? Did you learn anything? Did you catch anything that I didn't? Let me know your favorite biblical movie in the comments and maybe I'll cover it sometime. Thanks for watching.
The Lord said, "Thou shalt make no graven images." You have broken God's commandment.
Whatever you say is Greek to me, but all these, the mountains of Producore and I don't know. It'll all work out, I'm sure.
I must speak again to the Lord.
Good luck. I'll figure it out.